Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Canish and Crafts TV. I'm Laura. We've got Vinny next door. This is our last show of the day, and it is our third look at our brand new collection, A Day to Remember, which is such a pretty, very unusual, I think, collection. I think it ticks so many boxes. We'll quickly go through it, and I will go through them all in more detail when we go to the boards. So we've got the Regal Accents frame to start off with. So you've got essentially three frames in here. You've got banners in here that you can use as well, but you've also got these corner pieces that almost look like moss. They could be mountains. They can be used to fill the frame. They can be tuck-ins. So many different ways of using them. And if you've watched any of the other shows, but for me, you've got the large frame there, the smaller frame on the inside, and this oval frame. So you've got three card shapes there just in this one die. So a very usable one as well, because you'll use those frames with other collections too. Then you've got your floral adornment next to it. So you can see those beautiful flowers in their lovely colours in here as well. Plus you have the decoupage for those as well. Plus you've got the lattice design on there too. So you do have the lattice element that you can build up. Plus you have the mats and layers there for the lattice element too. Then you've got something special. So you've got that large present there, which again, that could be birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, it could be congratulations, new job, it could be anything that you're gifting a gift to on that occasion. Then if we go down, you've got your natural embellishments there. So you've got beautiful foliage in here that you can build up with those flowers and make your own composition of florals. Then you've got your suspended elegance. So you've got that lovely chandelier and the cage there. So you've got those candles as well, so you can decoupage those up, or you can build up your own. So if you want to add those into like the cage, you can do that. Equally, you can cut the like the chain off of the bird cage and have it as a standing bird cage as well. So different ways to use that one. Then you've got event ready. So you've got your table there, you've got your chair, you've got the table. What was it called? The table setting, place setting that you could use there as well. And you've got the shoes and you've got the present in there as well. And you've also got the elegant banner, which I absolutely love. So many different ways you can use that. It's got matte layers as well. You can see that in the center. Then I'm going to bring you over so you can see, oh, and let me just quickly say before it goes, their main collection that you just saw, we are approaching 30% of the stock that has gone, so it has been very popular with everybody at home. And then we also have a step above die, which is absolutely stunning. This is almost 45% of the stock has gone, and I'm not surprised at all. The amount that you get in here is amazing. So you've got this ladder, which you can see folds on the legs, and you're going to cut two of these out, and that gives you your card. Okay, so you're going to be able to make a ladder card shape, which is going to look like that, which is just absolutely stunning, isn't it? It's something so unusual that can be for so many different occasions you could use that for. But you can see how they just fold, and that is your standalone card, which is a ladder, which is just amazing. But then you've also got in here, you've got the book, you've got vases and bowls there to decorate the shelves. You've got the infinity symbol with feathers on, so it's going to be really lovely for those sympathy cards. Now these bits here are your shelves. Now these will sit along the ladder if you want to make it where it's almost like a bit more 3D. You can have the shelves along the ladder. But then you've also got, look, your full alphabet with the numbers in there as well, which is just amazing. You've got mats for these as well, so you can see you've got mats So like that one I just showed you, if you want one like that, where you want the letters to just pop a little bit more, you can use those mats for the letters, or you can do it like that, so you can have the numbers, the letters fit perfectly onto the book, which is just amazing. I mean, if you make and sell, this is going to be such a good one for personalizing your cards that you are gifting people to. So you've got so much in there. And then as always, we do have our perfect paper. So this is a day to remember. Perfect papers, you've got your diagonal stripes and you've got your spots in here as well. This is 251210. It's $14.99, but it is just, if you can stretch to add that in, I would highly recommend. You've got all of the coordinating colours in there with the artwork, and it really does make a world of difference having that same coloured cardstock. Even just your mass and layers, you can use these for your card bases. It die cuts perfectly, so you've got everything that you need then to make the most beautiful cards. Right, let's go through the board so you can see exactly what each one is going to look like. So we'll start off with that large frame. So you've got your mats and layers there to make your card base. Then you have got your frame. Now the frame has got those easy aperture design around the mat here, so you can go in, look, and you can just snip those away, go in with your craft knife or pair of scissors and just snip them away, and that will leave you with just the frame then. You've got the middle one then with the mat and layer and the frame, and again you can go in and just snip those bits away. You can see, look, I can just put my finger straight under there. You just snip those little bits and that is going to leave you with a frame again. So you've got two card bases there that you can use, and when you just break, look, don't look at anything else, just look at that frame. That is such a regal looking frame. That could be for any occasion, any collection. You could use this as a card base with. It could be a Christmas card, an Easter card, a Valentine's card. This is going to work with any theme, any collection at all. You know, me and Dave were saying earlier, that could be a picture frame that you're going to do. You're going to use these as mounts for actual picture frames, or you could make these into picture frames to go onto your scrapbook page or memory books, things like that. Mix these up. And then exactly the same with the oval design. You've got the mat and layer to make a card base, or these could be mat and layers that you're putting onto a bigger card as well. And you've got that oval frame. You can snip that centerpiece out if you want to, or you could leave that in and make a frame. I think this one would make a really nice frame, or like a mirror as well. Would look really, really lovely. And then you've got your floral adornment. So you've got your main floral element here. You can see it's almost like that corner piece, and it extends up really lovely. Now these two pieces are your decoupage pieces that will sit on top, but I do think these are large enough, and I've done this in other demos as well. Use these completely on their own. You could use these just as floral elements on their own, and then you have all of these floral decoupage pieces to add in. Now these, you can use these completely on their own, so you could build more in, and you could change the shape of this if you want to. Equally the same with these, you know, you could make this go that way and add more in. This smaller kind of like sweep design has been done so you can put it on the back of the chair, or you could add it onto the bird cage, or you could add it onto the chandelier, you could add it onto the ladder. So there's lots of different ways that you can use that. And then obviously you've got that beautiful trellis piece there that I do think as well you could use just for cat. I know we did it earlier. Have I got mine? Where we made it into a card on its own. So you know, mix and match these up. They work so well on their own. And then from there you've got all of your natural embellishments. Now when you consider you have all of these and you have all of these decoupage florals, you could build up you could decorate as much as you want, because you could add this in, add some of the flowers, add some of the foliage, and you really can make up your own floral compositions with these. You can decorate the ladders or decorate the frames in however you want, because you've got, it kind of gives you all the tools that you need to go in and just have fun with these. Then you've got your suspended elegance, you've got the 2 frame, you've got the candles as well, so you could add these on top of there. You could add more onto there if you want to. You could add some into here. You can mix and match these up. They just work in so many different ways. I really like them. I think it's such a, they like stand out, don't they, just on their own. You could just use those. And then you've got your elegant banner. Now, one thing I love about this is you could use it that way, but if I flip it, you can use it that way as well. There's no right or wrong way of using that. Now, on the website, when you download the artwork to this, you will get the option of downloading some that have got sentiments on there already, so you've got options of printing them out, or you can print them out like this and then you can just stamp a sentiment in there, or maybe you want to write something on there. I've been using the Clean and Simple stamps and they fit in there lovely, so if you've got some of those, you can obviously use them and they will fit in there lovely. And then you've got something special, so you've got that lovely present there. You can see with that big bow, such a lovely present, which again could be for so many different occasions that you could use that for. And then you've got event ready, so you've got your table, your chair. Now this part is like the seat part of the chair. I've got one here, so like at the minute now the seat has got the back to us, but then if you pop that on there, you can see the seat now is facing us. So you've got options if you want to add 2 or more chairs in with a table. You can change the look of the chairs. You've got the present, you've got that stunning luxe shoes with the flower on top, and then you've got that table set in as well. And then I'm just going to go through the step above so you can see what this one looks like. So you obviously get that stunning ladder. You can see, look, your score line down there that you're going to score to make this stand up. You've got that infinity symbol, the book, you've got the shelves. These are the 2 pieces that will hold the shelves in place. And then you've got your vases, bottles, washing cans that you can use to actually decorate your ladder with. And then you've also got your full alphabet, which I just think is, the value in that one is just amazing to get the full alphabet in there. I do really like the font. I think it's really nice if you put them almost like slightly overlapping, because of that like script design. It would look as if it's just one word that's been put together. So really lovely. You also get the matte and you get the numbers in there. So, you know, if you make and sell, I think it's such a lovely one to be able to get, because you could leave, like if you're making something and you've got the book on there, you could leave the book blank and then just put the letters in when you were at the show. You could just take a load of the alphabet with you and then just look at that, using the frame, the flowers and that cage. It just looks absolutely stunning. Barbara did that one for us. It's a lovely card. And then Fiona has done this one for us, so you can see there. How pretty is that? I like that with the 2 frames in there as well. Bunny just said there's something fairy tale about it. There is something fairy tale about it. Kids' birthday cards, yeah, would be really lovely. And then we've got Fiona here with that ladder that we showed you just now. I do think there's so many different ways you could use this, because you could put like gardening stuff in front of it, or you could, like I've said, you could put toys on it, you could put like bakery stuff on it and cakes, you could put men's cards, you could put some of the DIY stuff on there. There's so many different ways that you can mix. Oh, the mice, crafty little things, Bunny saying that would look nice as well. So there's so many different ways that you can use it. Then we've got this one here by Vera. How lovely is that? Look, 18th. So you could take that to your stand or one of your fairs and just leave the 18th off. And then you could just be happy birthday. And then like somebody might say to you, I really like that. You know, could I have it for a 16th or, you know, a 21st? And then you can just pop the numbers on. And then look at this one. Fiona did this one. Look at that. How pretty is that on your special day? But you know, when I look at that, I think of so many, like that could just be a birthday, it could be a wedding, it could be an anniversary, it could be so many different occasions that you could be using that one for. Yeah, new house. That could be it. Like that could be yours and your partner's initials, isn't it? Like maybe you've just bought a new house. Oh, the house number. Yeah. I thought you were asking me then, do houses have numbers? I was going to be like, what did you think they had? Yeah, that would be really nice. You could have like their first house number on the card. That's a cute idea. Oh, and we got that one then by Barbara. Look, using that oval frame. That's such a lovely way of using that with the presents sticking out. I just think they're just, it's such an easy collection to use. I think it's very usable. It's one of those that you kind of, you use it and then, like, obviously I've been prepping with this all last week. But even now I'm like, oh, actually, this would look really good with this. Or if I did this and I did this. And you just start thinking of different ideas. Like, look at this by Sue. How beautiful is that? How pretty is that? I love that. Anything with a bit of acetate on and it's a winner by me. I love that. Such a lovely card. So vellum would look really nice. Yeah, and then you'd see the pop of colour from the flowers coming up as well. That would look really lovely. We do have vellum on the website as well. And then we've got this one then by Vera, which again, look at that. That makes me think of like a window. Do you know, because the trellis there, yeah, it's as if like, you know, you're sat here and that's the window looking outside. That's really, really lovely. And I love how Vera's cut the bow look off the present and then just used it like a decorative bow. That's such a lovely idea. Right, let me pop these back in the box so I don't knock any over because I do not trust myself at all. And then we'll jump in to our first. Oh, do you want to do the ladder first or do you want to do one with the frame first? Oh, did we? Okay, we'll do the frame. Do you want to do the frame or do you want to do the trellis? I know, trellis. She wants the trellis. Right, let's grab this. Oh, right, let me make sure my letters don't go flying anywhere. There, right. Right, so this one we are going to start off with a normal card for this one. And I've got some of the pink. Well, it's like a peachy pink, isn't it? It's a nice colour, yeah. From the Perfect Paper. So we're going to use that. So we're going to use this first of all for just to do some matte and layers. Now I've got the solid in that kind of like peachy tone. You do get the solids. And you also get the dots and the like diagonal stripes in this one. So you've got plenty to choose from. And you do get, more of the solid. So you get like double the solid, don't you? I think, yeah. Yeah, you get, yeah, so you've got solid there. But it's just such a lovely, if you, like I said, if you can add that in, I would highly recommend getting that in there. It just completes everything because you've got the exact right colour to go with everything. So it really does make a world of difference. Right, that's going to go on there, and then I've got some of our hammered cardstock, which is going to go on there. But before I stick that down, I'm going to grab the trellis first. Now I've got two of these, and I've cut them out. You can see, look, in that same perfect paper colour. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, should I try opening the glue? I am going to glue along the edge. So I'm just going to glue along the edge of one of these. Just add a little bit of glue down the side like that, and then I'm going to glue that on top of there. So I'm just like slightly overlapping. So that's just going to go on there like that. And then let's glue this before it moves anywhere. So I'm going to glue that now on there like that. Let's add our glue down. I am using the Everyday glue for Monday as well, yes. So if you need any of your glue or pin flare, some vellum, cards, anything at all, have a look on the website because it is a jam-packed craft shop on there. It's not just the collections. You'll find everything from poke tools to glue, foiling kits, ink pads, everything at all will be on there. Okay, so that's going to go on there. I'll just push that down without moving that top layer. Right, so we've got that like so. So what I'm going to do now is not glue it to the mat. Let's put some tape on the back of here. So we'll put this on there. I want to know, Bunny, have you finished your Christmas shopping? Have you started your Christmas shopping? Oh, she has started. She started, but not as much as she should have done by now. I don't even know what it is today. What is it? 8th. So yeah, you got 2 and a bit weeks. Oh, and she's getting worried. Oh, so you've normally done more than what you've done by now. Oh no. Are you a like Christmas Eve frantic run around the shops person? Oh, so you're not that bad, but you're not organized. You're like in between. You've only got 2, is it? Is it 2 weekends? Oh, okay, so Bunny thinks that she's got loads of time, but she's realizing now that she's only got 2 weekends until Christmas. So now she needs to organize herself. Do you know what? I have done more than what I've normally done by now. I've still got like a couple of things that I need to get, but I have done more than what I've normally done. You'll have to be fair, I feel like I do most of it online though. I find it easier. Yeah, you don't have to go. And to be fair, you get more choice as well. I think most places online now, though, they tell you, when the cut-off day is, like, you know, they'll say as long as you order before such a date, it'll definitely arrive in time. So you should be okay. Right, so we're going to put hello on there. So I'm just put them roughly so I can just kind of gauge where the letters are going to sit. And then we're going to just pop that on there. Now these letters I've cut out with the exact same perfect paper that we did the matte layers on. And do you know these ones? I'm going to like see if I can, yeah, slightly. So let's see what they look like. I don't know what I'm getting. Oh, actually, I do know one thing, because I was shopping with my little girl, and there was like a there's like a brand of like skincare makeup-y thing that I like, and they had like this Christmas, you know, like gift set thing that I liked, and she wanted to get me that, so like I bought that so that she could give it to me. So I know I've got that. Yeah, at least you know. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. If somebody said to you about something to get you and you want this collection, let them know, because it's at least you know you're getting something. I would rather know that I'm getting something that I want than, you know. Yeah, the person buy. Yeah, I would rather somebody say to me, "Oh, look, this is what I want for Christmas," and then I can actually buy them something that they want, other than something I'm going to waste money on and that they'll never use, or it'll just sit in a drawer and it's just a waste. Yeah. Right, so I've got my wording. Now these are the shelves that you can use on the ladder, but I've used it like a little sign. It made me think of, like, you know, people have those like wooden signs. Like, can you imagine putting a little bit of twine behind that? And then you've got like a little side. That's what it made me think of. So I've kind of used it like that. That's going to sit in the middle there. And then we're going to add some of the bits and pieces in here. Now I've got a bit of a mix in here. So we're going to use, these are those like moss corner pieces from the frames. So I'm going to put this in here first. So I'm just going to add that in there. Now I have got another tab of Pinfly here, but I'm going to try and make this one last. So let's put that on there. Now that's going to go about there. I'm going to add my present. I feel like all the crafters that are sat at home watching wrap their presents like this. I feel like, because we're crafters, you know, it's like, oh, let's add some ribbon. I feel like every crafter, I feel like I could look at people's presents and be like, that's from a crafter. I love wrapping presents. Some people do. I enjoy wrapping presents. Yeah, but I am like, I'll sit there like that with like ribbon, and then I'll add some like berries in there and like on my tag, and it's like, oh, I'm quite bad. I really like it. But then I'll only do them for like, you know, if I'm wrapping like the kids' presents, it's like, all right, then the next one. Yeah, but like, oh, I do like wrapping presents. Yeah, and especially when they're wrapped nicely as well, and you can see it all like pristine, folded. I think it looks really nice. Now this present, like, I've cut the lid of that box off. Now when I did this, I'm going to use it as like a form of decoupage, so just build that up a bit. But I equally think you could use that as like a little present on its own, so you could add another one in. But I am just going to pop this one on top of there. So that is going to go on there like that. And then I have got, let's push that down a bit. the smaller little present as well. So I'm going to add that one in there. So I'm just going to put like a tiny little bit on that side and a blob on the other side. So that'll level up with that. Oh, it's stuck to my tweezers. There. Right, now I'm going to go in and I'm adding in some decoration. So I'm going to bring the floral bits in. So these are those sweep ones that you can fit in, and you can see like how lovely that just sits on there. So I'm going to pop that one on there. So just add some glue, and then that is going to sit on there like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, and I'm just going to bring some of our foliage in as well. So let's add these in. So I'm going to tuck that one under there, like that. And then let's put this here so then I can kind of gauge where we're going. Like that. So I'll flip that round. And the joys of having those mirrored vignettes, you can always make it work because you can just flip things around and make it work for you. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some here, and then I'm going to bring it down so that just flows with the card. So let's tuck that one there, and then I'm going to tuck another one, and I've got a mix here of the two colours because the embellishment part, you've got two different colourways in this foliage which work. You can see like the difference in the lighter shade and the darker ones. So they do work really well together. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to, not drop that on my card, Laura. I'm going to add that in there. Add this one in. Let's just tuck that, I feel, in there, so something. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm happy with that. We'll leave that one like that. So it's just a different way of showing you the trial list. So you could do that, and obviously you could extend that more. So you could make that card like twice the size and just add another two of those trialist designs on, or you could, and equally you could do it portrait, landscape. There's no really right or wrong with this, and I do really think, if, do you know what I just thought, if you were looking, because I feel like a lot of crafters like rope their friends into crafting. Like it's something you start doing and then you say to your friend, oh, you know, it's so lovely, so relaxing. And then, yeah, you end up in like little craft groups, or you craft along with, you know, your friends and things like that. If you have thought of getting a collection for somebody to get them into crafting or get them into die cutting for the very first time, I would say this is probably like one of the easiest collections to actually use. Because, you know, you've got your frame. So if you cut those out, you've got your card base, you've got a frame. So you've essentially got 3 card bases there in the frame, and you've got a stunning card base and a frame on your card straight away, and all they've had to do is die cut out their you know, their essential card and maybe the perfect paper to make the frame. And then you've just got everything then to just decorate it, and everything on in this collection works together so seamlessly. You don't have to think about anything at all. There's no like, you know, oh, this bit works a bit more with this, and the colours work more with this. Like everything just works perfectly. You could literally just do it blindfolded. You could pick up, you know, any 3 little bits, pop them on a card together, and they are going to look absolutely stunning. So I think it's such a lovely collection for gifting as well. Would be really nice. Do you want to do the ladder or the frame? The ladder. She wants the ladder. Let's do the ladder then. Right, let me pop that there. Right, let's do this one. Oh, I feel like I've got a lot going on this one. Right, let's get the ladder. Now, when you cut these out, these are the 120 GSM. They are printed with the artwork. So you can see you've got that lovely, almost like that soft white wood design on here. It is 120, but they are double-sided. So this is glued together, okay? So I wouldn't recommend doing anything lighter. Because obviously this is going to be your card base. Obviously, if you're going to cut this out in a cardstock, I would go a lot heavier. So you've got different options with this. Now, when you run this through your die cutting machine, you will see, as I'm doing now, you have got lines to fold. So you have got score lines going down the ladder, and you've got one across the top. So the one on the top is the part that you're going to glue to the next one to turn it into a card. And then can you see these ones give you that stand? So that is going to just support it when it's stood up. It's going to stand up a lot better. It's not going to fold down on itself. So you've got your two lines across each side, and this one you can see there on the top. So that's the bit you're going to stick together. Okay, so really, really easy. All you're going to do is obviously print these out. The artwork is available completely free of charge on the website if you purchase the collection, and then you're going to cut two of the ladders out to make the card. Obviously you can use them on their own as well, so you could use the ladder just on the front of a card if you wanted to, or you could snip these side panels out and just use it like as a ladder on a card. So you have got options with this. You don't have to use it as a card shape all the time, but I think it makes such a unique card shape, and especially for if you go and if you do stands, you know, at craft fairs or any type of fairs and you sell your makes, this is definitely going to be a standout one for your stand, because I think it's something so unique. So we folded all of those lines. We're going to just glue that top bit together, so those two little bits just stick on the top, and you've got your card, and that is going to stand like that. So you can see you've got that extra support there. I mean, how different, how unique is that? Really, really easy. Now you could put toys on there, you could put tools and make it a DIY ladder, you could put cakes on there, you could put so much on here. You can really mix and match this up in different ways. Right, now this one, we're putting a lot on this one, okay? Just so you know. Right, well, I'm going to start off, I'm going to add the moss bits on the bottom first. So I'm going to add this in, so this is going to be at the back. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue there, and then I'm going to add that. Let's just give that a little pinch. That is going to go there. Right, so I've got that, and then right, this is going to go there. Right, let's add the little bits in. Right, so our table is going to go there, so let's add the do I want to add the present in? Yeah, right, let's add this in at the back, because I want to build this up. This is a bit 3D. Right, I'm going to put some of the tape on here. Now, if you don't have any foam tape, I would highly recommend the Clean and Simple foam tape. On the website, it's the perfect width for this and the frames as well. So that is going to sit there like that. So just give that a push on there, and then I'm going to add the table in. So that's going to go on the, do you know what, I might get a bit of tape on there. Should we give it a go? It's going to go there. Like that. So we're starting to build this up. Now before I stick anything else, I'm going to stick the chair, and the chair's going to go there. I don't know where the chair's going to go. I'm going to leave the chair there a minute. Right, before I do anything else, let's stick these down. So I've got the smaller present. I'm just going to glue this. Come on, glue. Right, let's put that there. So it's just coming off the card slightly. And then I've got these shoes as well, which I just absolutely adore them. I think they're so cute. And I'm going to put those there like that. And actually, let's use a bit of pin flare to put that down. So it's sticking out a bit. I think it might be time to open the other one. Oh, no, I'm okay. I'll put a tiny bit on the flower. Keep that up. Right, so that is going to go there like that, and that just breaks that corner up a little bit. Right, so this is where we are at the minute. So right, what we're going to do now is I'm going to bring in, what was I going to do with this then? Was I going to use it like a stand? Yes, right, so I think what I was going to do is I was going to put that there like a sign, and then put this there, so it was like on. Oh, I don't know if I want that there now. I might just leave that off. Oh, is that what I was thinking then? Right, let's do that then. Alright, let's add this in. A little bit of tape there. And a little bit of tape there. Let's pull these off. Oh, come on, tape. There. Right, so put that. So I'm just going to tuck. Oh, I've pushed that one in. Right, let's pull that. And I'm just going to tuck this. So it's like slightly under. Oh, I've put that foam on too much. That's fine, I'll cover it up. Right, so we've got that. And then, right, before I stick this down, I'm just going to show you quickly. I'm going to stick some foam on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick two pieces. So I'm going to stick a little bit on there. And I'm going to pull that off. And then I'm going to stick another piece on. Because I want this to, the ends to come up. Okay, so I'll put that there. And then what I've done is I've cut the centre bit. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Oh, that's way too much. On those two pieces. So now I'm going to grab this. I'm going to put that on there. And now I'm going to glue them bits. So now, can you see how it kind of gives you the illusion of like it's actually going under, so it's going around, so just adding them in, and then it looks like, yeah. And then I've also cut the feathers, and I'm just going to add them in there as well, just to add in a little bit more, just a bit of texture, because the feathers really do pop on here. They do add a lot of texture, and you can do the same thing. So if I put a little bit of glue along the ends, that's way too much, and then we can pop that on there. So if I just line that up, and then that bottom bit will go down. So can you see how that just gives you, but it still just stands up, but it goes back in. So, but can you see the difference though on that bit? And now it just stands out a little bit more. So we'll do the same now on that top bit. So I'll just put a little blob of foam on there, and then a little bit of glue along that end bit, and then that will just sit on there, and then that bit you can just push that down. Yeah. Yes, I think that would look really pretty just on a card on its own. Really, really lovely. So let's grab this. So that is now going to sit on our frame like that. So let's pop that on there. So I've got that one there like that. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in some of the other elements. So I've got one of those smaller corner pieces. I'm going to pop that there like that, and then I'm going to bring in our banner. So I'm going to put this across the top. I'm just going to place that there a minute so I can kind of see where it's going to go. And let's grab this. And then I'm going to bring in our foliage. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack some, so like this bit, I'm just going to tack some. Let me pick that up. So I'm going to put one there behind that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that up like that, okay? So I'm just going to grab some pieces from here. These are so easy to use. They just fit. You've kind of got one in kind of every shape that you need. You know, you've got bigger ones, you've got those smaller ones. So you've got a piece that is easily gonna fit where you need it to fit. So they're really, really easy to use. That's gonna go there. And then I'm gonna bring another one. There like that. And then I'm going to use these bits to kind of just join that bit together. I'm just going to tack that there so it looks as if it's kind of going across the ladder. And then you've got these pieces in the darker shade and you've got them in a lighter shade. And then these are just perfect because you can just tuck these in and really build up that foliage, and you can make this, you know, you can build them up as much or put as much or as little as you want, and then you can see look how effective these look. So let's just add that one in there, and then actually before I start sticking any more down, let's stick this banner down. Now this banner, you can see, hasn't got a sentiment on, and that is because I have cut away that banner piece, which I think you could use that on its own as well. Do you know, if you've got flowers, like that looks like a little wrap that you could put around the flower. So another way of using that banner as well. So I've just cut that off, and I'm going to put this on, so just adding in more. So adding I got the tiniest bit of pinflower left, but I don't want to open the other one because I know we're nearly at the end of the show. So I'm going to tuck that on there like that. So again, giving it that 3D look. And then I've just got 2 more little bits. We'll add these in. Bunny is laughing at me. It lasts. I've got one last little bit. I've got. Although I have got those 2 little bits there as well, but it's fine. You get the idea. And then, do we want to add that chair in? Yeah, I do as well. Let's add the chair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the end bit and just go across there. Should we do some samples? Let's put that on there. And then, oh, my banner doesn't want to stay. Oh, I think this is such a lovely collection. I mean, that, ooh! That would make a lovely, simple, you know, if you changed, you know, the banner, that could be a lovely sympathy card. It could equally be a wedding card, an engagement card, a birthday card. It could be anything at all. I think as well with the green foliage and then like the fresh white, if you kept it to like a green and white colour theme, I think they'd make great mail cards as well. So do you know, if you've got like somebody, this maybe like a male friend, you know, who's just bought their own home, you know, like, can you imagine that, like, new home, but keeping it in that green and the white? I think they'd be great for things like that as well. So lots of different ways that you can mix that up. I'm gonna grab some samples so we can go through these, because the design team do such an amazing job with their samples. I do really like this one. Vera did this. It really makes me think of a window. It really does make me think of, like, you know, you're sat there, you could be sat there now, like with your morning cup of coffee, sat there and like you're looking out at your garden. You know, that makes me think of summertime, or like being on holiday somewhere. But, you know, yeah, it could be enjoying retirement. It could be so many things, couldn't it? But it really does make me think of like sitting there looking out of a window with that one. And then I've got one here by Fiona. This one is a step above ladder card shape. You've got the alphabet in there, but then you've got a mix in here using the florals from the floral adornment, and you've got that elegant banner as well. Bunny's just said that would make a nice baby card. It would, wouldn't it? I think it's because of the white and the pink. Yeah, you could imagine, like, you know, baby or new baby written across there. It would look so, I do think that it would look so lovely with like little baby things on it. You know, you can have like a little bottle or little toys put on it. I think it would look really lovely. And then, oh, I got another one here by Fiona. This is so pretty. So pretty. You've got the letters there on the book as well. The flowers, that's using the 2 frames on here. So you've got the 2 frames for the card base, plus the flowers, and you've got that wrap look just tucked in there. to the flowers. Really pretty. Then we've got one here by Barbara. Look at that. I love Barbara's put pearls, look, on the birdhouse, which I thought was so cute, having those little pearls on there. All those flowers on there. I mean, if you break that card down, okay, you've done the card base with the frame, and then you've added in one of that corner piece of the flowers. You've added some flowers of your own onto the cage, and you've popped a sentiment on there. But how stunning is that card? It looks absolutely like that's like a card that if you walk past a stand or a stall, it really would catch your eye, wouldn't it? Really pretty. Then I've got one here by Vera. Look at that. That's so pretty. 18th. That would be lovely, like 15th or 16th or a 21st or a 40th or a 50th. You know, they work for so many different occasions. No, Bunny's saying like a lot of the time you can't get certain. No, it's only like this certain ages, isn't it? So if you're looking for like a 14 or like a 22, you know the question is a 21 or it's a 30. No in between. It's one or the other. To be fair, I wouldn't mind getting like a 21st birthday card. I'd be quite happy with that. Then you got this one, which is so pretty. Fiona did this one. Using those flowers, look, even in the background with that frame on top. I love how Fiona's used the elegant banner, almost like a wrap look going around those flowers, which I think is such a lovely idea. And you've got the alphabet there, again, those letters with the book. And then we've got one here by Barbara. That's pretty, isn't it? That one to me, I don't know why, but that one feels more like young and modern. I don't know, Bunny's agreeing with me. I don't know what it is. There's just something a bit more like, I don't know. She's saying maybe it's the oval because it feels a bit more fairy tale. I don't know what it is. It just, I don't know, like I wouldn't really feel like they've come from the same collection. Do you know, it's like, I don't know, it just feels like a different feel to it. But I mean, it's really good for us because we get the different themes from it. But it is such a beautiful, I mean, like, look at this one. Bringing all of those flowers, look, to decorate the complete background, I just think is absolutely amazing. Right, and I'm going to finish with my favourite one has been, because we've got acetate and Sue did this one. I mean, just look at that. That again makes me think of like almost like a window look. I love how Sue's used the smaller label style from the frame as well. Look, in the middle, stamp a sentiment in there, and you've got the most stunning card. And I would look at that card. I think anybody who doesn't craft or goes to fairs and things would look at that card and think, you have spent hours and hours making that card. It stands out, doesn't it, so much. And especially if you put acetate on anything, I feel like people are instantly drawn to it. That does bring us to the end of the hour. So that is it from me and Bunny today. But we will be back at 10, 12 and 2 tomorrow. So we will have lots more inspiration. The 2 o'clock show tomorrow as well. We're doing the DT. We're doing the DT showcase. So that's when we remake some of the design team cards. So you can see how the design team cards have been made. And in that show as well, if you've got any questions or if you've got something maybe, you know, you want us to cut something out and try to do something or anything at all, then or you can even message us beforehand ready for the show, and we can get anything ready. If you want to like see something cut out in something or anything at all, you can message in that show. But obviously you can message in the 10 and the 12 o'clock show as well. So hopefully